The Icons of Real Estate Podcast. Are you ready to learn the proven money-making secrets from top-producing Icon agents? Ready to skyrocket your business? This podcast is for you. Tune in every week with your host, Tomasz Fonseca, and find out how to implement proven strategies to 10 times your business. From $3 million to $30 million in just 12 months. Brought to you by the Masters at Real Estate Marketing, Arter SEO.
Welcome to the Icons of Real Estate. I'm Tim Calloway. We have a very special, successful guest today from the great state, the Garden State of New Jersey, Justin Bosak. Justin, how are you?
I'm great, Tim. How you doing today?
Man, I'm doing great, and I'm really glad to have you on here. You're full of excitement and energy. Just a little bit I've talked to you, so I'm excited to hear your story. So let's go ahead and we're going to get into your team and what you guys are doing, and man, all the accolades that you're getting. But let's start with you. Let's start at the beginning. How'd you get started in real estate? And I'm sure there's a great story behind that.
Yeah, I think it's a great story. It's funny because I was telling a guy that I know last night about it. He had this perception that I'm just some successful guy. I went to a college. I got all these degrees and things like that. And I told him, kind of my story, and he was just surprised. But it's rolled out of retail. I was about 21 years old, worked for McDonald's, worked up to management, went to a company called Aldi's. That's like a food store, grocery store, capped there pretty quickly. Learned that if I wanted to become a supervisor, I needed a 4-year degree. I didn't have one of those. I had a passion for real estate. After doing a report in high school, my dad said, hey, you might be too young to try to do that out of high school. But it only took me a couple of years to get into it. Went to school, started with a company called Foxton's. That company went under, unfortunately, in 2008. Did not survive, but learned the ropes. In that company, I started in inside sales and cold calling.
Right.
And I'm cold calling Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan, Long Island, North Jersey, from South Jersey. Those are areas I didn't really know the territory. I didn't know home values, but I was pretty good at helping to set appointments for my listing agents.
Yeah.
And the company then expanded. They went and created a buyer's agent position. From there, I said, I know I want to do that. I want to be out in the field. And I was doing probably within that first year, 40 to 50 deals a year for the company. I didn't know that was kind of crazy as a buyer agent because those were all buy side deals.
All I
know is, I was running around.
That's a lot of running around. I was gonna say, man, your gas card or your car or whatever had to have been like,
boom,
boom.
So we had company cars back then.
Okay.
We had Mini Coopers.
Nice.
And I was all over town, all over the county, really. But the good thing is that it taught me pretty quickly that I didn't really want to be that real estate agent that focused on just pushing a sale. Because I would go into most of those appointments on the first appointment or showing, and I would come up with all the reasons maybe for the client not to buy that house. But in my back pocket, I'd have printed out some other properties that I could show them that I thought were, potentially better properties. Because, the ratio is 95% of the time, buyers are not going to buy that first house.
Right.
I learned that pretty quickly. So I said, how could I get the buyer then on my side? Because, this isn't a car dealer lot. I could sell you any house out here. I just want to show you that I have value. I could tell you, what is good about a house, what is bad about a house. I'd go into crawl spaces, find that there's water in a crawl space, let the client know, let them know, hey, the roof is a little bit older. Just give them that insight of all those different things that they're not thinking about, and not really trying to sell them on, hey, like, look at this beautiful granite. They could see that with their own eyes, trying to show them the nuts and bolts behind the house, because I learned pretty quickly what kills deals, and that's home inspections and things that the buyer are not aware of, that they could have been aware of if we told them what it was from the beginning. So
right. Nice. That is a good story. You're right. Your buddy was right. He was like, oh, you're doing all this, doing all that, and at the end of the day, you're like, hey, man, I just help people buy and sell houses. That's, I could have 9 degrees on the wall. I know plenty of people. I got I work with people that are doctors, you know, and they're like, you know what? I enjoy real estate 10 times as much. I could have saved myself $500,000, you know. But yeah, so it's whatever your passion is, right? It's like whatever you wake up at the end of the day and go, man, I'm passionate about this.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we talked about how you got started. Let's talk about today. I mean, these are some of the exciting things you and I were talking about before the show started. What's going on today? Tell me about your team. Tell me about your office. Everything going on.
Yeah, so I'm still in production. Amazingly. Best year ever. I'm gonna hit
That's good.
30 million personally. That's not with anybody helping me. That's just personal
Mhm.
stuff. We have a team that we run. We've got now we're up to 24 agents total on a team. Last year we did 123 million. We're on track for 150 million this year as a team. That's doing probably 350 units. The office, we started that 4 years ago. The reason why we started the office is because when we were running the team, we were hitting restrictions from our previous broker as far as what we can do and what we can offer. You know, we wanted to hire transaction coordinators, we wanted field services, and you know, they kind of didn't want us to do all that stuff within the brokerage because they thought the other agents would get jealous and you know, want the same thing. So we just started our own shop and grew that in the last 4 years to 160 agents total. Last year we did $500 million and over 1,300 units. This year we're on track for 550. Units might be a little bit down, but you know, the volume's
Yeah.
up, which is good. So yeah, I mean, we're growing, and within the last year, we also at you know, the end of 2021, we're named the brokers of the year for the United States for REMAX,
Wow.
and brokerage of the year in New Jersey for REMAX as well. And I think it's just a lot of the different unique things that we're doing. We've got 11 staff, which is, you know, way above the industry average, I guess, per agent count,
Right.
especially for, you know, for a REMAX franchise. But we've got 2 transaction coordinators, field service coordinator. We've got a drone operator in-house who also does Matterport. We've got a couple girls, 3 girls in marketing positions,
Nice.
2 offices now. We just opened our second office. You know, so a lot of support staff to help. And that's kind of the foundation of the business is to try to take the tasks off the agent's desk that, you know, maybe you pay somebody $20 to $30 an hour to do,
Right.
and just keep the agents aware that, listen, your value is negotiating deals, meeting with clients, being face to face with clients, being on listing appointments, doing open houses, things like that, and not to get bogged down with the other things. Because, you know, when we run the math and we tell the agents what their value is based upon their hours worked and what the revenue generated is, it's like, why are you doing this $20 an hour task? You
Yeah.
know, you're worth $100. And in
Right.
order for you to get to 150 and give yourself a raise, you've got to offload maybe the 20 to 25% of the stuff that's eating up your time, so you could focus on the higher end tasks. So we do goal setting yearly with each agent and break down where each lead came from. Every agent in the company, you know, they're going to have different ways that they're procuring business. And, you know, we don't have like one mindset of like, this is how you have to become a successful agent. It really comes down to that person, what their sphere is, what they have going on, and where their success is. You know, so if you close 4 or 5 deals from open houses last year, guess what? You know, we're going to suggest that you focus more on open houses.
Right.
And a lot of agents just don't know, you know, what their numbers are, where their
Right.
stats are. They don't follow kind of where that lead came from.
Yeah.
So we're very focused on past clients as well. We just did our 3rd annual client event. We rented out an entire bar, had about 1,000 people there, had a concert, free food, free drink, bull riding, fortune tellers, all kinds of different things for past clients to come to. We
Nice.
believe that, you know, past clients is really a thing that's overlooked in the industry. I hear
For
a lot
sure.
of agents just, you know, they're trying to move forward, they're trying to book these listing appointments, and they don't care to follow up with their past clients. And you know, I feel
It's a
that's,
gold
you know,
mine, right? It's a
oh
gold
yeah,
mine. Yeah,
yep.
for sure. Yeah, I definitely believe a few things that you said in that, you know, working to an agent's strengths, super important. But man, one of the things you said, and some people are going to hear me say this and be like, man, I don't know, that sounds like almost a point of obnoxiousness, but it's true for any, whether you're working, you know, back in the at Aldi, or where whether you're a top agent in the state, it doesn't matter. Until you understand your value per, either it's per hour, per week, per minute, per second, you're never going to increase it to its maximum potential. Because it's so funny, back when I was the same way. I'm much older than you, I'm in my 50s, and it's like, it wasn't until I was, almost 30 until I realized, why am I even mowing my own lawn? And so people are like, oh, you're pretentious. You don't know. It's because I can find somebody, and this is in the 90s, I can find somebody and pay him $20 to do that, while I can go close a deal that makes me $5,000, whatever, whatever the number is. And until you realize that, your time is never spent wisely. You know, you, no one's probably ever going to pay you to go drink at the bar after work, right? It just doesn't happen. So find those things that are going to pay you. Find those things that are going to make your life better. And I'm not saying anything wrong with going and hang out at the bar, but if you are, host a function. That's what made me think of it when you're talking about for your clients. Host a function at the bar for past clients, future clients, whatever. Just hold a get together, a party for somebody, whatever it is, then sponsor it, by REMAX or the Ocean Six group, right? I mean, that's
Yeah.
think about it.
Yeah, and the way we did it, we the last one we did at a winery, and the bar that we did it's like a venue,
Yeah,
it's outdoor, it's got a
real
beach and
place.
stuff,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
got like waterfall, it's pretty cool. But what we did too is for the because we brought the agents into this is we got a bunch of sponsors obviously, so to subsidize costs to bring the cost down for the
sure.
agents, and because you do volume, obviously, the ticket price was only $30 per person, included everything, and you have a nice night with your clients. The greatest thing about it too is you find that a lot of people that actually do come out, it's like the first time they've been out in a year, 2 years, even 3 years. And they're
Right.
just so thankful to be able to come out and have a good time. And then you find, this one knows that one, and my client knows your client, and it's just a cool environment. And what that leads to is just a memory, right? It's
Yeah,
a
sure.
memory. It's something to look forward to for the next year. But going back to what you said about like cutting the lawn too, is like, I can't get that out of my head now that I know what my value is. It's the same thing, right?
Exactly.
How can I offload this, because I know the value of it, there's no
Right.
ROI on it, and the way I really gauge my clients, or I'm sorry, my agents, to really figure this out, is to really deep dive on your business and create rules for yourself, and I had to do this for myself to kind of clear that hurdle, because I was, coming up to that same thing where, okay, I'm doing 20 million, I'm doing 20 million, I'm doing
Right.
20 million. I can't get past that hurdle. And all it was is, you've got to make rules for yourself, so you have to look at the business from last year and then say, like, no longer will I take out buyers under 400,000. And there's obviously, you're going to have circumstances where you do it, but you don't want to get in the habit of doing it.
Right.
Cut that part of the business out. You're referring it out to other agents in the office, so you're not losing the business, but allows you to focus on, getting more listings, which is the
Right.
key.
Right.
Listings are the key. I grew up working with buyers, and I love buyers, and I always thought, oh, I can just always work with buyers, and it's just impossible to work with 25 buyers at the same time and find success. But you
Yeah.
can have 25 listings, set up systems and processes, and be successful at doing that, because you could do that mostly from the office. When you're on the road showing houses, I mean, it's not only a drag in, the 2 hours you're locked in, right? You can't really take phone calls. You can't really negotiate deals. You can't respond to emails. You're really locked up. So, you look at your business, take that 25% that isn't producing, the highest revenue. And some of it may be not necessarily like the price, right? Because you may have a buyer that's buying something for 600 and they're selling something for 300. That still adds up to 900. Still do that business,
Right.
but if it's taking a Zillow call or a referral that's 30% and it's 400,000, maybe pass that off to somebody else, because you know that's not going to help you build
Right.
your business and get you a raise. And that's
It
the
take,
key thing, as I tell my
yeah.
agents. How are
You,
we going to get you a raise for next year? Let's look
right.
at the business and make some rules.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it takes the same. I always tell people it takes the same amount of work to close a 2 million deal as it does a $500,000 deal. I'm still going to present the house the same way. My rules, right? My rules don't change. My functionality doesn't change. I don't, my persona doesn't change because the house is 500 or the house is 2 million. Now, so if that's the case, why wouldn't I list 20 homes at 2 million, instead of 20 homes at 500,000? I'll make 400% more, right? I mean, at the end of the day, I'll make 400%. I'll make a lot more money, and they're out there, right? I mean, they're out there, and the hunt is just different. And as realtors, I don't care what anybody says, you are hunters. You're out there hunting. You're hunting for buyers. You're hunting for sellers. You're hunting for investors. Whatever it may be, investors. So yeah, that's good. That's a good plan. Yeah, really good plan. So let's talk about the future a little bit. Put our prognostication hats on real quick. What's the journey for Justin? What's the journey for Ocean Six Group? What's the next 1, 3, 5 years look like?
Yeah, so the funny thing about, I guess, how we kind of run things is we kind of don't put like numbers
Okay.
as far as goals out there. It's just implementing processes and systems. I guess the end goal for us would be to own more buildings.
Okay.
So the second office that we're in right now, we purchased and renovated. So that's a great long-term goal or solution when you're running your own business. I had a conversation with somebody, and it was a potential buyout, and he was asking like 150 for his office. We valued it at like 50,000. There's only 5 agents there, and he said, "But I spent $1 million, over the last 20 years paying my landlord." And I was like, it doesn't matter. Unfortunately,
So
that
what?
doesn't help your business. There's no
TBD,
value
man,
there.
cost of doing business.
Yeah, so I think part of that too is educating the agents on how to invest and save. So we just launched a joint venture with a title company. We're most likely going to be doing the same thing with a mortgage company, giving some value back to the agents for doing business and allowing them to control their ad spend, helping them do more marketing and do more advertising, taking neighborhoods over, billboards, things like that. So the goal is really to focus on the agents, help them get what they need out of their business, help them accomplish their goals. And then, if that helps us out in the end, in the long run, great. It always works out that it does. But yeah, it's really just to be focused on our agents and building their business. One of the short-term goals over the next year is going to be getting more agents on video and social media, getting them trained on how to use TikTok and Reels and stories and do those things effectively. We just put together a course with our personal social media guy to train some of our top agents. We're going to be taking them once they get educated in doing that, and taking them to do some video, maybe on not property related stuff, community stuff. We have done that personally, me and my business partner, but we feel that we need some faces from the office because obviously there's only so much time in the day. And I know that it's something that's great for the community, but I'd like to share it with some of the agents in the office and,
by all means,
be a service to the community. And, I think that's going to create our own, marketing and advertising company and turn into some other things. But yeah, the future is super exciting, especially if there is some sort of recession or things kind of slow down. We're getting pounded with people that are just now interested in what we have to offer because I feel like agents are now getting slow and they're popping their head up and they're realizing their brokerages really aren't offering much. It's just a place to work and they collect their commission and that's about it. Where we focus a little bit differently. I can tell you this. As far as me and my 2 business partners, I don't know if you ranked us as far as like net income in the entire office, we'd probably be 15 to 20, so we're spending a lot of money reinvesting it back into the office instead of taking it off the table. And I think that's going to help us out long term.
Right. That's fantastic. Hey, Justin, if someone wanted to get in touch with you, whether they're a buyer, listing, or maybe an agent, popping that head up, what's the best way to reach you? Website, whole 9 yards?
Sure. So the easiest way is probably www.justinbosak.com. That has all my links to all my different social media pages, as well as my contact card, email, cell phone. So I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Facebook. Pretty easy to find me in all those places. Justin Bosak or Jersey Shore Realtor.
Awesome. Awesome. So I always like to do this, we're kind of winding down here. Um, you know, tell me what you're thinking, what's on your mind, heart, body, soul, give us some sage advice and close us out, Justin.
For sure. I can give this great piece of advice is take the time, reinvest and spend time on yourself as far as your business. Don't focus on what the media is saying. Try to stay off, the Facebook chats or the Facebook arguments or anything that can cause you some anxiety or grief. That can put you in a real bad spot real quick and distract you. So stay away from those distractions. That's going to be the key, I think, for success for a lot of agents moving forward. They're going to be able to hopefully break through. And there's a lot of agents that spend a lot of time wasting time.
Yeah.
Now is the time to really double down and really put your efforts into marketing and media and social media, photography, video, drone. If you're doing a listing, obviously we went through a market where a listing could sell very quickly. That didn't matter. I still, spent the $1,000 on the, highest and best marketing that we could get, and that leads to more listings. Do the postcards, do it all. Have all those wheels spinning, and that's going to be the most important thing moving forward because we're going to see some agents jumping out. We already see agents leaving the business because now it's a little bit harder. It takes 30 days to sell a listing instead of a week now.
Geez.
So it's the worst market ever now.
Gotta be. No one's gonna buy a house now. Man, I tell you, I've been around a long time. And if you're prepared, you look at it as an opportunity, not a problem. And it is an opportunity. Let them all quit. I don't want anybody to quit the business, but if they are, go out and find those people they left behind. So, it's good advice, Justin. I love it. Hang tight with me here. We're going to close out the show. Thanks so much for being on the show. Appreciate it. Good advice. I look forward to catching up with you the next 3, 6, 9 months. See how you guys are doing.
Awesome, Tim. Thanks for your time today.
All right, bud.